Hi, and welcome to the second episode of Legacy Coderetreat screencasts. Today we're going to talk about Golden Masters. This is a technique very useful to generate relatively fast some system tests. It relates a lot with the session we talked last time when we generated some specific system tests for some methods. During this session, we will do we will create some tests that are uh, basically touching this game runner. We didn't do that last time. This part of the system remained untested. So we chose last time a more direct approach, and we tested only the game class. And to remind you what we are doing here, we are handling a trivia game, and we have basically this game class which has a lot of code in it, and um, the code is very ugly, as you can see. Of course, we don't have any tests, and what we want to do is we want to try and start with a basic safety net so we could continue with some other tests in order to be able to change the code without introducing defects. So going back to Golden Masters, it is a very useful technique when you have a very clear input and output. And for this case, we can apply Golden Masters. So now what we can do is we can try and see also the tests. So if we run the tests, they will be red. Why? Because obviously this is wrong here. Why do I have this test? Well, I want to have a test to show me that JUnit works. So I change it to true, I want to run it, and it's green. So JUnit works perfectly well with my codebase. Now let us see how we could apply this technique of Golden Masters. Well, going to the game runner, there is this code which actually runs the game, adds 3 players, then I have random, and then I roll the dice and then decide the winner depending on some other random, and this happens until I find the winner. So in order to try and use this, what we could do is to have this random inserted somehow into this code for testing purposes, and for the real game we'll have the same random. So for this, what I want to do first of all is to create a structure of code that will be able to save some results into some text files in the first part, and then I want to compare these test results with the with what would happen after that when I want to change the code. So for that, I will go to the test package, and I want to create a class which is called Golden Master. Now this class will need to have some method to create a game result. So let's say get game result, and I would need to have a seed from the output, from the runner. In order to do that, I would need to have something like game runner play, and this method should be given a new random of seed. And what I can do is that I can catch the output of the game into, so the output is this text written into the console. I can catch this without touching any of the existing code base. And let's see how we can do that. In fact, I can create a byte array output stream, and then a print stream, which will receive this stream, and then I need to say system set out print stream, and in this way I will basically have all these texts from system out print line redirected from the console to my stream here in the Golden Master class into this stream. So everything that will be written to the console will come here to this stream. And what I want to do is I want to return this stream as a string, so as text. Now I do not have this play method, so if I will compile, it will obviously say that something is wrong here, and of course, yes, I do not have the game runner as well. Now I have it, so let's try again. So I don't have the method play. I need to create it, right? So the method play would need to have a random as a parameter. In order to do that, I'm going to refactor this game runner, and how I'm going to move basically the random on the top, because this would be the thing that I want to add. This is a change in the code base, but it is something very simple, so I'm not afraid to do this. But you should always be aware to when you change production code without having tests. And now what I can do is I can extract this method to something called play, and here it is, my play method. So if I will build now again, of course my useless test passes, but it's important that the code gets built. So what shall we do now? The next thing to do is to try and save the Golden Masters somewhere, some text files. In order to do that, I will make another method that will be called generate golden masters, or master, yes. And what should this method do? Well, I want to have some number of files generated with some seeds, and here it depends on your choice, but I will choose 1,000 seeds. You can do more, you can do less, but you need to have such a number of seeds that they are enough, but they aren't too many to make the test run very slowly. So I will have long seed, and I will go to 1,000, and in here I will want to write into a file uh, the result to a game. In order to do that, I want to add nice libraries that helps me deal with Java strings and streams, and I will add it from Maven. And it's called commons.io. Okay, here it is. I will add it only to the test. And now I can do something like this. File utils, write, new file, and in here I'll need to give the name. So I will create a folder, a special data folder called Golden Master Data. I will add the seed, and I will add an extension text. What do I want to write here? Well, of course, the get game result with the seed. And basically this is it. This is the code that I can use in order to generate this Golden Masters 1,000 seeds for the trivia game. But now I need to generate it. In order to do that, I'm going to do something a bit weird. I'm going to go to the test and say instantiate game runner. Golden Master. Okay. And I will call generate Golden Master. When I will call the test again, it says that this method should throw IO exception. So I will add this and run it again. Okay, so it seems that it generated 1,000 entries. Let's see. If I do git status, I see that I have a lot of things added, and I see here that I have a folder Golden Masters data added. So if I go there to sources, test, Java, I will see a lot of files. So these were all generated from the output. And if you want to see one of them, it is something, it's just the output of the game. What is the output of the game? Well, if we would want to run the game, something like this. But for every different seed, I will have other data here. So this is pretty good, right? Now, because I generated the code, I want to delete this. And I want to go back to running the tests. Okay. So now what do I need next? I have generated these files, but I want to have a way of getting the golden master for each seed from each file. So I would like to do public string get golden master with, of course, a seed. So I will use file utils read file to string, and I will create a new file with the same folder. I will add the seed and the text extension, and I will return this. Of course, this should throw as well an IO exception. And I want to write a new test which will test the fact that my code base now will respects the golden masters that I just saved. So public void let's say check trivia against golden master. Of course, it should throw an exception as well. Because I have all those methods that throw exceptions. What I need to do now is to create an instance of golden master. I need to cycle from 0 to 1000. And in the seed, I want to compare the actual with the expected. The expected one, the expected value would be golden master, get golden master for the seed, and the actual would be golden master get game result for the same seed. And now I want to assert the fact that the expected will equal the actual. And let's see what happens if I run the tests. I forgot an R. So if I look here at the tests, I have a good test and this useless test. I will delete this one, run the tests again, and I will want to commit. So I will add all the files, a lot of files, and say wrote the golden masters test for 1,000 different seeds from 0 to 999. Good. So this is my first test. Now what can I do next? Well, I have some things that I don't really like here besides the production code. This one is okay, I don't want to touch it. But in the code I just wrote, I would like to do some refactoring. First of all, what I could do, I could extract this number into a constant because I do not like magic numbers. So I would like to create a constant called max seed. Run the test again. And I would like to use the same one in the test as well. So I will call golden master max seed. Run the tests. And then commit. Extracted maximum number of seeds to constant in golden master class. The next thing I would like to refactor would be the generation of this file. It's the same thing here, and I don't like it because it's strings. I want to extract it into a method called generate file, which should be private. It says, IntelliJ says that I have another instance of the same code, so I'd like to extract that as well. And let's see if I run the tests. The tests are good, so I will commit again. Refactored golden master class extracted method to generate the file. Okay. What could I do now to refactor? I'm quite happy with the code base now. I wouldn't change a lot. But what I want to show you now is that Golden Master is not really fault proof. So it can help us in some cases. It could help us if I would change this here, and if I run the tests, it will say that something's wrong. And IntelliJ is nice enough to even tell us what is different. So I can see where I did something wrong. So I'm gonna reset this. If I run the tests again, they should be green. But there are some other cases where it's not very clear if Golden Master is useful. For example, this 6, what does it mean? What if I change this to 5? What would the tests do? So they still pass. This is a problem, right? If I were to change by mistake the index here from 6 to 5, then the test wouldn't cover it. Let's see. If I change it to 4, what happens? Nothing. To 3. If I change it to 3, something goes wrong. And it goes wrong somewhere where I want to add a player. In the game, add method. Why? Because I need to have this array of more than with more than 3 spaces. So this shows me that probably my test isn't correct from some points of view. And why? Well, what happens? The fact is that I tested this runner with three players being added. So if I would like to have a more complete Golden Master, I would need to have here 6 players instead of 3. And I could have some other issues as well with this number, for example. So I will have 50 questions generated for each of the topics. This means 200 questions, but what happens if they won't they will be finished? So I don't know. I will reset again. So Golden Master is a very useful technique to test fast enough without touching the code and to understand better maybe how a code behaves. So what we've done was to look at the game class and understand that we have some outputs from the console here, and we have some options to validate these outputs by generating some random seeds and injecting them into the game runner. We generated some reference Golden Master to some text files, and then we wrote the test and we validated our code base. And it showed us that we can use this to check the code for some cases, but for others it might be tricky. So take care. Golden Master is a very useful technique, but you need to use it with extra care, and all the changes you make after that with the production code need to be minimal, because Golden Masters will not help you always. So I hope you enjoyed this screencast, and I will continue with another session called Reveal Intent, and until then, have fun coding.